Hi, so today we're going to be showing you guys how to make a hanging treat holder. These have been online on Facebook a lot. People that are Disney cruisers will hang these outside of their door full of lollipops. This is what the end result is going to look like. And if you use small lollipops, you can fit 36 of them. If you want to fit pencils in it, you can fit 18. And so this is the front and the back. It's very simple, all cotton. There is a little bit of sewing involved with this. The bow, I did a no-sew bow with hot glue. And you guys can customize this with different fabrics. I will list below all of the sizes of the dimensions of the fabric that you're going to use for this, so you can reference it when you go to make yours. I already pre-cut some fabrics here, so just to make this video go a little bit faster, you're going to need your top character fabric. This one is let me go over this way, 3.5 by 19. This is the back fabric. This is 4 by 19.5, but this is folded over on itself, and you want that to create the top at the part with the ring. And then I'll give you the information for the bow after. So at first you're going to take this piece over to the ironing board, and you're going to press it flat so you get that crease. And this is all just cotton fabric. You are going to need a jump ring or a key ring. I bought an assorted pack from Joann Fabrics, and I picked the largest one out of the bag. But you can see it's lots of different key rings in there. So you're gonna need one of those. And you're going to take this, open it up, and you're going to want to press in a 1/4 inch in, so when we sew this we have clean edges. So I'm going to start on the end here, and then to make sure it's even, I'm going to take my little ruler here, I'm going to kind of fold it over. And you see this first little line, this would be a 1/4 inch in. So I kind of want it to meet there. And when I have that, I am actually using my ironing board is not solid. It's got some holes. And so I take my pins, and I just stick it through till I can get all the way down, because this is a large piece of fabric. This is just the way I do it. There's probably better ways to do it. I am not a seamstress. So this kind of just keeps it from unrolling as we go. So now that this is pinned, you don't have to leave the pins in the sewing machine like this, but it kind of helps just get it started. And then as you go here, you can take your pin out. And try not to undo your other one like I just did. So I'm going to finish all parts of this, and because this is a little lengthy, this part, and then we will bring it back to you and show you how to get it on the ring. Okay, so now we have all the sides pressed inward. We're going to be folding this over on itself, and here's the true test if you know how to do math. Sometimes I don't, like today. See, these don't match up perfectly. So this side's going to be the back, because it doesn't really matter, but it doesn't match. The other side's a little wider, which is cool. At this point is when you're going to insert the ring. So you're gonna kind of want to curl these in so you don't unfold your pleats that you just did. Slide the ring up to the top, and this is when it looks crazy. So now I start at the bottom and I take my Wonder Clips. These are Wonder Clips, and you're going to take them and pinch them together, because I try not to use pins whenever I can at the sewing machine, because inevitably I stab myself. Okay, so we're gonna go along here and just clip this all together. Hey, look, Joann's running a sale. This is not sponsored by Joann Fabrics. I'm not funny. As Tina laughs at me. Tina is my happy cameraman today, because if I could grow a couple extra arms, maybe I could videotape this at the same time as putting it together, but I'm not that talented. I'll slide down so you're not having to struggle. So you're gonna go all the way up to the top at the ring, and you're gonna like go as close as you possibly can on both sides. You still recording? Yeah. And that is my 3-year-old that wants to come in because he's obsessed with Tina. Okay, so we're gonna take this over to the sewing machine now. On the sewing machine, you wanna start at one end so then you can finish at the other and not have to start and stop again. So you're gonna get up to the top as close as you can. You're gonna drop your needle. And you're gonna make sure you wanna do a back stitch whenever you start and stop, so your stuff doesn't come apart. And you're gonna go all the way around. So now you're just going to clean up your ends. I'm using a thread seam ripper, which is not ideal, but I don't know where my thread scissors are. So we're making it work. Okay, so this is what you've got. It's got a little pocket, the ring still moves freely, and it's sealed all the way around. So now we're gonna come back over, and this is our piece of fabric that we cut before. Now, he's too big. We're gonna do the exact same thing again, rolling everything under, and then we're going to pin it to the top of this. At that point, we'll see, did we maybe cut this too large? And this is when you can fix the problem if this turned out a little smaller than you thought it would. So I'm going to press this, roll it under just how I did the bottom piece, and then I'll show you when I'm done with that. So now we have this completely turned over. See, this is what I did. I did end up cutting off an 1.5 inches because it was a little too long. So you may need to adjust that when you make yours. Just look at it. This is now flipped under, and now you need to look at what the pattern's looking like. So I'm gonna show you. Mickey's doing his handstand this way, or Mickey's upside down. See, I like him doing his handstand. This is just the part that you have to decide. If you have a directional fabric, you'll have to see which way you want your characters, because this, now what we're doing, this is pinning this down, we're sewing this on, and there's no changing it from this point. So from here, you're going to use pins. Unfortunately, the magic clips are not gonna be good for this part. So you're going to pin this on. Okay, you don't need a crazy amount of pins, and you will not be sewing around it this time. So you just want to do some to make sure he doesn't move. And then the cool part happens. We're actually going to put it back onto the cutting mat to make life easier. Okay, so now we are going to be using our table to help us make the marks. We're going to be doing 1/2 inch lines all the way up to make the slots. So you can fit a lollipop in there, or you can even slide a pencil in. Just want my kids' color pencils to show you. So if you wanted to give out pencils as a gift, you could fit those in there, or pixie sticks, whatever. So the 1/2 inch slot works. So if you have a cutting mat, you can just lay it on top. You're going to need to do one at the bottom, and this is Taylor's chalk, so it wipes off. So you're going to do one there, and then here's my 1/2 inch line, my inch line, and so forth. So we're going to speed this up so you can see the whole process. So now you're going to be sewing along these lines. You're going to want to make sure that you do a back stitch on both ends because you don't want them to pull apart. With the force of taking items in and out, that can happen if you don't do a back stitch. So you're going to start at the very bottom. And from this point, I'm going to take this little pin out because he's going to get caught up on my foot. So you can remove your pins as you go now that the needle's in. He's not going anywhere. So you're going to sew across. Now I don't have an automatic thread cutter, so we're going to have to go back in and clean all this up. But from this point forward, we're going to speed through so you can see how we do this. Okay, so now you have a hairy project. Okay, so now we're going to trim all of the threads off. I will also do this in fast mode because why would you want to watch that? And then you are now done with your sewing machine. Everything else we're going to be doing is going to be using a hot glue gun. So we're going to zip through this and then I will show you the last part of this. So this is the tool that I was talking about earlier, thread cutters. This is not what you cut thread with, but in a pinch you do. So this is what you would want to make your life easier because now your project is not hairy anymore. And this is all the thread. So we're gonna go back over to the ironing board. I'm gonna plug in the hot glue gun because that is something you will need. And we're going to make the bow and then attach it and then your hanger will be done. Any fabric you want, something that coordinates. I'm doing exactly what the example had before. I'm making 2 identical ones, but you're going to take a piece. At the end, we're gonna have a 5-inch bow. And 5 inches is bigger than what our hanging piece is. I want it to extend further. So you just have to decide how big you want your bow. I actually went on YouTube and I watched a video on how to make a fabric bow. And the no-sew one popped up, and after all of that sewing, this sounded like a fantastic idea. So this one, to get a 5-inch, you need it 11 by 8. And you're still gonna need your iron. You also can use the same fabric, and you would need like a 3-inch by 4-inch piece, and then you would fold it within itself to make the center. I decided because I have a lot of ribbon and I wanted something kind of contrasty that would match Mickey. I just took 5/8 grosgrain ribbon, and that's what I'm going to use as my centerpiece. I cut a 5-inch piece. I won't need all 5 inches, and I'll actually trim it down at the end. I'll show you, but I like to have too much than not enough. So here you're going to fold your piece in half straightly, like a hot dog. And you can give it a press so you have that seam. Then you're going to fold it within itself to that seam, just covering the seam just slightly. So you're gonna overlap and come in together like this. Now you're going to want to press this. Okay. Now you're gonna fold this on its side like this in half. And you don't have to, you could just do a finger press to get a seam, but my iron's here, so what the heck. We're gonna do this. Now we know where we're coming to. Same thing. You want to fold it within itself like this, slightly overlapping the center. And at this point, you want to make sure that your pieces here are lined up and nothing's wonky. Okay, so now is the fun part. You're going to accordion fold this. So I like to start from the center and work out, and sometimes you do this, you don't like it, you unfold it and you try again. See, I don't like this. So and kind of play with it until you get it looking the way you want. Are we happy with this? Mm-hmm. Okay. So at this point, you're going to get your glue gun and you're going to squirt a little bit of glue in the center of these folds on both sides just to hold it together. And if a little gets out, it's okay because we're going to be covering that. Flip it over. And you can even get in between these folds as well, just to hold everything together nicely. So this guy is going nowhere. It is hot. See, now we have a cute little bow. Now you're gonna start on the back side, hit a little piece of glue, and I like to go around this twice, just so it looks like that. Now, there's a significant amount extra left over, but like I said, I'd like to have too much than not enough. I'm going to tack this down. And then I'm just going to take my fabric scissors and trim our excess. And our bow is done. Now, I apply the bow with a little bit of hot glue, because you're really not going to mess with this. This is just decorative. And this hot glue works on ribbon because I make bows for my daughter. So I'm just going to tack a little bit, kind of press it, give it a good hold. And there you have it. You have your very own treat hanger for your Disney cruise. If you would like to see more videos, comment below on things you'd like to see us make. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment and let us know.